Let's hit the field.
It is Friday, June 20th, and the Yankees were taking on the Orioles under the Friday night lights at Yankee Stadium in Game 1 of a 3-game set. Max Fried was on the mound trying to make it 2 wins in a row for the Yankees. Aaron Judge went deep, and I got TK tonight to talk a little state of the Yankees and Anthony Volpe's very tough week. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Well, not so good. Not so good, TK. I thought maybe the baseball gods would allow this Yankees team to win 2 games in a row. I didn't think it would be asking too much, but another tough night for the Yankees. Max Fried, I thought, threw the ball well, but the offense could not get it together. Another tough night for Anthony Volpe. Before we get started, TK, I want to thank the audience for 20 million views on this channel, which we hit today. Other than that, TK, how you doing?
Doing pretty well. Yankees not playing that well. Hopefully they break it. It's just the highs and lows of 162, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're only 75 games in, so we're not even halfway. We were bound to have a stretch like this at some point. But lately, it's felt especially futile. And given the way that this team has slumped in summers past, you know, going back to 2021, we've had a lot of comments about the Boone June swoon. I mean, we're only a week in, but it's hard not to imagine this thing spiraling out of control as bad as this team has looked. I mean, I want to talk a little bit about tonight's game because there were some things that were weird. So let's go ahead and get to the recap, and then
Let's go. Let's get it going.
we'll evaluate all this on State of the Yankees after the pitcher spotlight. So Sanchez got things started for the Birds tonight, 2-run single. I was actually expecting a grand slam there, the way things have been going and the way former Yankees kill us. But were you surprised to see Gary Sanchez get the big hit there?
Yeah, I guess a little bit, but to your point, I think that's just kind of like part of the bit at this point. Former Yankees are struggling. It's just kind of like, what next? Like yes and no.
Yankees loaded the bases to begin the game. Jazz picked up an RBI single. Nice piece of hitting there, I thought. Not trying to do too much, just kind of dumped it into left field. Dominguez hit one that a lot of ballparks goes out. Yankee Stadium, we got Death Valley. He's done that a couple of times this year where he's crushed the ball to left center field. This time it got caught, but it was a sac fly, tied the game up. And then the Yankees went back out in front on a home run by Aaron Judge, who had a good night. He was 3 for 4. He hit his 27th home run opposite field. Hard to believe that Cal Raleigh is closing in on 30 ahead of Aaron Judge. It's not often that somebody reaches 30 home runs ahead of Aaron Judge, and he still might not. I mean, Judge could hit 3 tomorrow. We'll see. But, it's strange to see somebody out in front of AJ.
Yeah, and also the fact that he's a catcher. I think you don't really see that a lot from catchers. But I think he's on pace right now to hit 63 home runs. So that would be a record-breaking season for the American League single-season home run. But it's a long season. He's a catcher. I think that position just sort of beats you up, and he'll probably cool off in a few weeks here.
Yeah, the thing about catchers is they're prone to wear and tear more so than guys who play the outfield or whatever. We got a lot of super chats coming in. Steven said he got a photo with Jazz at Fanatics Fest and asked him to hit a home run tonight. Guess it didn't work. Well, way to put pressure on him there, man. Anyway, I did notice that TK, so Jason Dominguez had a good at bat from the right side of the plate in about the 5th inning. He fouled off a bunch of pitches. He took some close pitches, and I noticed he was keeping both hands on the bat on his swing. Now, usually he has that Miguel Andujar kind of helicopter from the right side. You make anything of him keeping both hands on the bat? Is that an adjustment to try and just hit better from the right side? Maybe fix his swing path a little bit?
Yeah, I find that when you kind of have 2 hands on the bat like that, you're a little bit more in control. Your swing path's a little under control. You're probably less likely to pull off as well, where you're pulling off the ball and your eyes are flaring to the other side, right? You're opening up too much. So I think it's just kind of a slight adjustment, but it's a very small adjustment, and it's an easy adjustment to make as well. It's not like you're really changing anything until the very end of your swing. So yeah, I think it was a better at bat. Maybe it helps him see the ball a little bit better and stay a little bit more closed and keep his eyes on the ball for longer. And I think that'll kind of prove to have some results, hopefully.
So we got a super chat here from a Rays fan. It says, as Rays fan in Building MG, Slotley Coming LAL. And yeah, he types like a guy from Florida. I mean, I'm not sure what the...
Is that English?
Yeah, you want to try again? Anyway, I'll happily accept another super chat if you want to try again. Anyway, so Fried gave up 3 runs today. He was okay. I mean, the first inning killed him, but after that, it was kind of a grind. He was a quality start. It's only the second time this year he's allowed more than 2 earned runs in a game. 7 strikeouts. We'll talk more about him in a minute. A few things I thought were weird in this game. I'm not sure why. Well, one, communication on Fernando Cruz running into the pitcher's mound almost when he wasn't brought in, when Max Fried was still on the mound, and everyone's shaking his head like, where's the communication here, right? I mean, this has been an ongoing problem in this organization for years. The communication has been a problem. And then the other thing, why go to Luke Weaver, who hasn't pitched in a couple of weeks, in such a high-leverage situation? I did not like that. I did not like sitting Bellinger the day after he had 3 hits. Like yesterday, we talked about how Grisham and Bellinger looked like they were coming out of it, right? Bellinger had 3 hits. Grisham hit the home run. Grisham tonight was back in the lineup, and he came close to hitting a home run there in the 9th inning. He just missed it, but I thought he had better swings. But I just don't get the whole sitting Bellinger thing. And do you think they went to Weaver in a high leverage situation way too soon?
Yeah, first with the Bellinger thing, I actually probably would have sat Goldschmidt tonight and put Bellinger at first tonight. But that's just me. I would have had him in the lineup somehow. But yeah, with the Weaver thing, I definitely think that it wouldn't have been my choice to have him in such a high leverage position. I had that thought when I was watching the game. Devin Williams has pitched well since Weaver was on the IL, so I understand that they're going to kind of go with this sort of closer by committee between Weaver and Williams based off matchups and stuff. And I don't hate that. But yeah, just because it was his first night back, and they said it on the broadcast, usually with bullpen guys, it's like when they haven't pitched in a long time, it's hard to kind of have that command. They're saying the velocity was there, the stuff was there, it's just the command wasn't. And I think with the thing that Weaver's been so effective this year is his command's been really good. I think he'll be fine. It's just, again, I think to your point, putting him in such a high leverage position there was tough. And then I think that that first home run was a bit of a porch job too. That's a Yankee Stadium porch job, so sometimes it hurts you. It's not like I think it was really crushed,
right?
But
the porch giveth and the porch taketh away, right? I mean, exactly. It is what it is.
Would you have gone Hamilton there instead, maybe?
No, I mean, I would have probably just gone Cruz. I mean, he was already getting ready. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yankees lose. Yeah. I tell you what, we got a lot of fans in the chat that are saying they are upset with Boone and his management and sitting Bellinger when he was, heating up and going to Weaver there. So it seems like another night where Boone is not earning a whole lot of fans. We got also people saying that they're calling into the voicemail right now. I can't obviously check the voicemail while I'm on with a guest, so best to get those in before the game is over. We do have some voicemails though. So Max Fried today, I mean, tough first inning, threw about 30 pitches, bounced back, had an easy 1-2-3 second, and from there he was pretty much cruising. May have left him in a little bit too long, a lot of high-stress pitches, but the ERA now over 2 for the first time in probably all year since probably opening day. 2.05 ERA now, topped out at 97.5 through 105 pitches. Final line, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs. No walks, 7 Ks. Anything to add about Mr. Max Fried this evening?
I thought he showed a lot. He had a rocky first inning. He didn't really have the command, kind of trying to figure out what stuff was working for him, like on the fly. And then he was able to kind of rein it back in and give us a solid few innings there. And, at the end, I think they just sort of got to him. But I credit him for wanting to stay in the game. There was definitely that whole thing with Cruz was going to come in, and you could see it. He's like, no, I want to stay in the game. And I like seeing that. To me, that's like the sign of a true ace. Sometimes it doesn't work out. That's true, but the guy's a competitor and he wants to be out there. And I like that attitude. Yeah.
Well, let's get to State of the Yanks. So a few things we got to talk about here. Let's begin with Anthony Volpe, who had a very bad week The defense is now slipping. He's got the batting average down into the 220s. He's 0 for his last 23, we think, maybe 22, 23. But the OPS is still over 700, but falling rapidly. What are your thoughts on Anthony Volpe's tough week? Is he mentally beaten right now? That's what I'm getting the impression.
I don't know. It's such a conundrum because for his whole Yankees career so far, he's been very streaky. That's, I think, the biggest thing that I've taken away so far is sometimes he looks like the player that was advertised to this fan base and what he was supposed to be, if you will. And then sometimes he looks like an absolute bust. And I feel like there's absolutely no in between. It's one or the other. And right now he looks awful. And I remember I watched the Volpe video you did before the game where you were mentioning like, beginning of last year when he was playing really well and he was getting on base every game and he was kind of this pesky guy on the bases, gap to gap, and he had the speed and played really good defense. That's the player that Yankee fans, I think, were expecting. I'm not expecting Bobby Witt Jr. or Gunnar Henderson. I'm not. But like, can I at least? You've shown me that you're this player. You've shown me it. I just want to see that player a little bit more consistently. Is the biggest thing.
Yeah, the player that he was from the beginning of April through about June 5th last year is the guy that he has the potential to be, that I want him to be. When he was getting on base in front of Soto and Judge, do you remember how deadly this Yankees lineup was? I mean, that was some fun baseball to watch. He was on base 30-plus games in a row. He was hitting the ball to all fields. He sacrificed a little bit of power, but I was okay with that. Now he's trying to hit for power, and he's still not doing it. I mean, he's got some home runs, but they're so few and far between, and some of them just don't even matter. I just don't know what the answer is. There's nobody better that we can go out there and trade for. There's nobody internally that's ready. We just got to ride or die with Volpe, and that's kind of what it is. But you just hope that he gets it together. The confidence right now seems shaken, and it should be. I mean, whatever he's doing is not working. I feel like maybe I'm wrong on this, and maybe you'll have different opinions on this. I feel like he does something and it becomes successful for like a week or so, and then he gets away from it, right? He'll have success doing something and fixing his swing and changing his bat path, and he starts hitting, and then he gets away from it and starts trying to hit home runs. I don't know what the solution is there.
I'm not sure, but I almost wonder if it's like if he makes the adjustment and then the league adjusts to him, and then it takes him a while to figure out what the adjustment that they made. Like it's a back and forth constantly, and I think it just takes him longer to make the adjustment. I don't think it's so much of a mental thing, but I certainly think that he's not a power bat, and the Yankees don't need him to be a power bat. They really don't. If he hits 10 home runs a season, I think that'd be plenty. Honestly, that's fine. I'd much more rather see him hit 270 and steal 50 bags. And 50 bags is a lot, but I think with the new rules, it's not actually that much.
Oh, it's doable, very doable.
It's very doable, but you know what I mean?
Got to get on base 50 times, though.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, though. Is like get on base, steal bags, go gap to gap. And just be Dustin Pedroia. We've said that. Be the pain in the ass. That's what I need. The Florida Panthers just won the Stanley Cup. Be Brad Marchand for all the hockey fans watching that. They'll understand that. Just be annoying. That's what you need from him.
Yeah,
that kind of player.
Well, we finally got our screen share working. I just had to restart the old computer there. But we're looking at Volpe's numbers. I mean, and this doesn't take into account tonight's game. Not good. I mean, pretty much the only thing he's above average in is bat speed and chase percentage. I mean, walk percentage, but I mean, base running value has slipped. Fielding run value has slipped a lot. He's slipped almost like, I don't know, 60% maybe, or 55% in fielding run value. The batting run value is up a little bit. It's just below league average. I don't know what the answer is. Hopefully he gets it going. We're going to talk about another Yankees prospect that is, making some headlines in the minor leagues recently. Spencer Jones has raised his average about 20 points in the last week or so. He got a couple of home runs. He still has way too many strikeouts, 63 strikeouts in 153 at-bats. I had Josh Norris on from Baseball America, and he basically said that he considers Spencer Jones a bust at this point. I mean, for a lack of a better word. I don't think he said the word bust, but the fact that the Yankees made him repeat Double-A, and that, that kind of tells you what they think of his development, that he was not even ready for Triple-A. Now, he does have a 974 OPS in Double-A. He's got a 386 on base percentage. That has shot up a lot recently. How do you view him? Do you think the Yankees maybe take advantage of this recent hot streak and maybe have him as part of a trade if somebody's interested? I'm sure somebody will be interested because of the natural tools and just the potential, right? I mean, bigger players are kind of taking over the game, but the strikeout rate is alarming. Maybe somebody thinks they can fix it. Maybe somebody says, well, you know what? Whatever the Yankees are teaching, they're not great at developing guys anyway. Maybe we can fix them, right? Do you think
I
that?
think it's a valid point.
Yeah.
I want to say that when I first came onto this podcast, I was a huge Spencer Jones person. I was super high on him. And I'm going to sit here and say that I was wrong. And I'm taking the L. And sometimes it doesn't work out. Listen, sometimes you have good takes, sometimes you have bad takes. The Jazz Chisholm take aged pretty well, I think. But this one did not. And he strikes out a lot. And it's like it's not something that I think has really improved in his second year in Double-A, because I was hoping that maybe that he would cut back on that. Doesn't really seem to be the case. So yes, I think that right now he does have some peak value. I would be looking to move him just because of that. And also, where's he gonna play? Question
Right.
mark. Like I don't really see. It's kind of like Everson Pereira. Like Everson Pereira is another guy where he should have been dealt. Like I know he was hurt, and it's hard to like you can't really deal a guy that's hurt like that. But that's another guy where it's like, where's he gonna play? So when you look at free agency and who they have on the team right now and certain things like that, I just don't see the point in keeping him. And I think you could move Spencer Jones for a nice arm. Colorado's got some nice bullpen arms that are some flamethrowers out there, and you would expect them to be sellers, right? So would they take a Spencer Jones, a guy with massive power who can run really well for a huge outfield in Colorado? I think that's actually a pretty good fit if you wanted to make something happen with them, with one of their relievers, because they got a guy over there who's painting like 102 on the corners, and it looks like his mechanics look like he's throwing like 89. He did very effortless 102. So
Yeah, I'm just not sure that there's a lot of trade value for Spencer Jones right now. I mean, I don't think that there's anybody that would take him. Well, I mean, and give you something for him, right? I mean, somebody might actually take him, but they're not going to give you anything of value at this point.
it'd have to be a package, like
Yeah.
a multiple player package.
Yeah. All right, quick word from our sponsor tonight, Harry's, and then back we're going to talk about Will Warren and the state of the rotation as Luis Gil nears his return. In baseball, as in life, it's all about having that extra edge, that little extra half second of a swing, the late break on a slider, or the grit to outlast your opponent on a hot afternoon. Same goes for shaving. Harry's gives you the edge where it counts. I tried the $5 trial set, and honestly, it's like the ace of my bathroom rotation. The handle's weighted just right, the razor is smooth, and the foaming shave gel lathers better than anything I have used before. I keep my beard tight around the jawline, clean edges, no irritation. Harry's handles it with ease. Even the packaging is big league, and their body wash, I've got the redwood scent. It's like a fresh cut field on opening day. Get the edge on your shave with Harry's razors. Normally their trial set is $10, but right now you can get it for just $5 at harrys.com/stripe. That's harrys.com/stripe for a $5 trial set. All right, check out Harry's. So we're going to talk a little bit about Will Warren, and then we will take a couple of voicemails that I just downloaded and have not listened to, so hopefully there's not Nazi shit on them. Will Warren, should the Yankees keep him or trade him? He'll probably come up in trade talks. We got Luis Gil coming back. He's obviously somebody teams are going to ask for. I mean, look at the strikeout numbers. 90 strikeouts in 69 innings. He does have a 4.83 ERA. I think that's been skewed by some really bad starts, but only 6 home runs allowed in 15 games. So basically half of a pitcher's allotment of starts in a season, and only allowed 6 home runs. So he's kept the ball in the ballpark. What are your thoughts on Will Warren? Do you deal him? Do you keep him? Do you move him to the bullpen? Do you send him back down to get some more seasoning when Gil comes back? I don't know.
It's a tough thing. I'm like looking at the Savant pages and the fan graphs, payroll. So we were talking about this. Like to me, it's kind of like I think they're gonna end up holding on to him just because pitching gets hurt and you would need the depth, and Will Warren has proven to be like a really nice kind of depth piece to have. But obviously, if you're gonna think about this in a fully healthy rotation, I think the question becomes more so would they deal either Clark Schmidt or Will Warren like next season? Um, like in speaking in the world where Garrett Cole comes back, Max Fried is healthy, Carlos Rodon is healthy, Luis Heel is healthy, and then that leaves one more rotation spots between Will Warren and Clark Schmidt. Now, I myself think I'd probably move on from Clark Schmidt just because I think you could get a pretty good return for him, and Will Warren has more years of control. Just speaking from like a business perspective, I think I would more so think about it that way. I think I kind of see them as like the same. I don't know if that
Yeah.
makes sense to you, Derek, but I see them a very kind of like
They're
similar
similar.
roles. I think Will Warren has a higher ceiling than Clark Schmidt does. And yes, the strikeout numbers are impressive. He's had a couple really nice starts, but you've sprinkled in some absolutely awful starts in there. So that's why I think the ERA is inflated, as you said. But I think if it were up to me, I would be more so looking to move like Clark Schmidt over Will Warren if I was going to move one of them. But I think for right now, they probably hold on to Will Warren because, again, they kind of need that pitching depth right now.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree. I think if I were going to make a deal, I would move Schmidt just because of the control thing. And I think Schmidt is probably nearing his peak as a pitcher. I don't know if he's peaked yet. I think
Yeah.
he might still get a little bit better, but he's pretty much what he is at this point. He'll give you 5 innings of 1 or 2 runs most nights. Occasionally he'll give you 6 or 7. He went 7 2/3 at one point this year. There'll also be games where he throws 85 pitches in 3 1/3 innings. I feel like his stuff is good, but Warren misses more bats. I mean, Warren just gets a ton of strikeouts. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure teams will ask about Warren. He keeps the ball in the ballpark, too. I mean, but if you can move Clark Schmidt and get a bat that solves some problems, I say go for it. All right, we're going to move on to some audience comments here and some voicemails.
That's a Tampa Bay Rays fan. The American League East. Everyone thought it was so easy. I guess not.
Oh, we got a Rays fan. We found the Rays fan. The only Rays fan.
Look,
Actually,
hey, it's Mo from the Bronx. I don't want to be that type of person, but look, it's getting to a point. It just seems that Aaron Judge just can't hit
Aaron Judge?
in the ninth inning in like a 1 or 2 on the ball game.
Because he
Look,
struck
I'm not
out in the ninth. He went 3 for 4. So these are the voicemails that you made me download during the show. Come on, look, Judge hit a game tying home run in the ninth inning a week ago. He's had a little bit of a slump. He's due a slump, but he went 3 for 4 with a homer tonight. Aaron Judge is not the problem. Problem is that nobody else is helping him out. Come on. So we had a call earlier about Gleyber Torres playing really well. He looks like he could be the starting second baseman for the All-Star team, possibly. I'm going to pull up Gleyber's numbers. And people were saying, well, Cashman really screwed up by letting him go. Well, one, I don't think he would have done this with the Yankees. I don't think he would have put up these kind of numbers with the Yankees. I mean,
no.
He played well offensively in the playoffs. He got, a bunch of leadoff hits. But look, the base running is still terrible and the fielding is still terrible. He couldn't focus in, what was it, game 1 of the World Series or game 2? I don't even remember. Game 3. I don't even remember what game it was where he let a ball hop away and didn't really smother it, knock it down. Shohei ended up taking third base. I mean, if you can't focus in the World Series, what is a big enough game for you to really give it your full attention, right? And I just don't think that he's that guy. I think there's a lot of guys that have come through the Yankee system like that. And we can also talk about Clint Frazier. Did you see his comments on FT?
Yeah, that was interesting. I saw some of those highlights of that interview. I think it kind of confirmed some suspicions that I had about the inner workings of the organization. Just real quick about Gleyber Torres, he's a DH. He'd be a great DH. That's it. Move on. But yeah, Clint Frazier, that was interesting. That was interesting because there were thoughts. Some of the things that he had said were thoughts that I had about they don't believe in hot and cold. And I've heard like Michael Kay and Jeff Passan and other baseball writers kind of report this about the Yankees and most analytically driven teams. I'm sorry, I just I just can't subscribe to that. I know that analytic people get scared of anything that's not quantifiable. And another thing that's like that is the New York factor. That's not really quantifiable, but I think that is definitely a thing for people who can quote unquote handle being a Yankee or not handle being a Yankee. I don't really know if that's thing with the Mets or not. I mean, I don't really watch enough of their games to know, but I just can't like agree with that there's no such thing as hot or cold. There has to be a way.
Yeah,
there has to
right.
be a way to quantify that somehow. I don't know how, but someone come up with it.
Anybody who's been hot at anything. Like
Yeah.
I remember playing, and I stink at basketball, and I still stink at basketball, but I remember being in like middle school basketball. I was playing in one of those rec leagues, and I made like 5 shots in a row. Like really good shots. Like I don't know if it was like 3-point range. I don't even know if we had 3-point range back then, but it felt far, right? It felt like, and I felt it. Like you could feel it, right? I've had times, I remember I started off my senior year in high school, 13 for 15, like hitting. I was just on fire, and the parents were saying, "Oh, does he sleep with his bat?" Like, and they were
Yeah.
like, people were,
Yeah.
and then like the second I remember in the last game I went 4 for 4, and I got on first base, and I told my first base coach, I said, "Man, I'm on fire right now." And he said, "Don't say that. You're gonna go into a slump." And then I think I went 1 for 20 or something like that. After that, I still ended up hitting 400. But it happened. Like being hot is a thing. If you've been there, you've felt it, and that's where I think the nerds don't get it. Right? They just don't get that there's a mental side to this game that's real, and that there's an energy to being in a streak and a confidence. And confidence definitely plays a role. But TK, what do you think? Are we gonna, when we meet back up next Friday, are we going to be still in this June swoon, or are we going to come out of it at this week sometime?
Man, I think all right. I think tonight they played better than they've played in the last week or so. I'll say that they looked better tonight than they did really ever against the Red Sox series or the Angels series. I just think they're all kind of slumping at the same time. It's encouraging to see that Judge had a good game, so maybe he broke out of it. That's definitely encouraging to see. Volpe is lost. Wells hasn't really. I think he had a hit tonight, but
He had
he's
one
kind of
hit,
been
but
cold. Yeah, so I think it is also Max Fried was pitching tonight and he lost. That's like
yeah,
you don't really want to lose when your ace is on the mound, right? So
right.
I think that's definitely concerning, but I'm not overly concerned. I think they're just kind of coming back to the mean a little bit. Where what did we say they were going to do this year? But this was post Cole injury. We said like 95 wins was the over under, just about. Frankie Baseball can
No,
pull those
it was
stats.
89. It was 89.5, I think, was the over under.
Yeah. So
And yeah, I think we all took the under. They're just regressing to the mean. They were on pace for like 100 plus for a while. Now they're on pace for I don't know, less than that. But
they probably win like 93 games. Honestly,
I'm gonna say 90 to 93. Yeah, I mean
yeah,
they got off to
something
a
like
better
that.
start than I thought. I want to see how the older guy, like I want to see how Goldschmidt plays in the second half. I want to see if Rice gets hot again. I want to see what Dominguez does in the second half. He's shown some positive signs. I like that he's made the adjustment with the right-handed swing. He had a couple of hits, or he had a hit tonight and an RBI, so he hit the ball hard once. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna call it a night. TK will be back next Friday night. I will be back after the game tomorrow, and we'll see you next time.